It's time for the Bleed Lows Podcast with your hosts, Alonso and Juan, Alicia Del Valle, and the babyface gimmick in the sky, Roger.
So welcome to another edition of the Bleed Lows podcast. I'm excited because we have a guest in here with us today. And I don't know if you guys are on Twitter and social media a lot, but I know my Twitter keeps blowing up at what this guy's doing in OKC. Every day pretty much I see a new tweet from OKC. It's like home run, grand slam. Help me to welcome Andre Lipcius with us here. Andre, how are you doing?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Good. Thanks for joining us. Like I said, I don't. Mike is our guy that follows OKC and all the minor leagues, and I'll get tweets, and like I know recently too, just like Andre Lipcius grand slam, Andre Lipcius another home run. So I just wanted to ask you, kind of, what has it been about this season so far, the start to this season? You're off to an incredible start. I mean, what has it been that's been working for you this season?
Yeah, well, coming over here from Detroit, these guys welcomed me with open arms and helped me out with some swing stuff that I think was lacking maybe in previous years. And they helped me, get the ball in the air more and do some things that have helped me get to this point now. So I think them just welcoming me and helping me get to the best of my potential, I think is definitely a really important thing that they helped me do this year.
So so I want to go back a little bit. So, go back to the spring a little bit. In the spring, like you got DFA'd by the Tigers, then you come over, you get traded to the Dodgers. So I kind of wanted to know, okay, you get DFA'd, now you're picked up, you get traded to the Dodgers. Kind of, what was your initial thought process when that happened? Like, what were your first thoughts once that trade went down?
Yeah, well, I was working out, waiting to hear something, I guess, and then my agent told me that the Dodgers were going to trade for me, and then the Dodgers called soon after, and I was super excited because everyone, in minor league baseball kind of knows that the Dodgers are the organization that can help you out the most in terms of player development. So I was super excited about that. And then when I came over, it was the same sort of vibe when I got over here. We really want to help you. We really want to, kind of mold you into what we think you can be. And when I got over there, it was all crazy. It all happened so fast. You get DFA'd and you're waiting, and then you get a call and you get shipped to Arizona the next day. So it was all really fast, but I was super excited to get out there. I've never done spring training in Arizona, so it was cool. It was I was excited to experience that, and then being with the Dodgers, such a storied organization, so it was super, super cool.
Yeah, you were putting up. Oh, sorry, Roger.
I was just gonna ask him real quick. So when you walk into that clubhouse, right? You walk into the Dodgers clubhouse, for the first time. The guys like Betts, Freeman, and I don't know if Kershaw was there or not. And they pick up a guy like Shohei Ohtani. Now I know you played with future Hall of Famer Miguel Cabrera, but what was that vibe like walking in to this Dodgers clubhouse and seeing kind of those guys? Are you kind of like just taking it like? Are you kind of letting that moment hit you, or are you kind of like, you know what, it's all business. I'm here for a reason, and you kind of just put that to the side?
No, I live very in the moment, and I'm very. I think perspective is such a huge deal. So like walking into that clubhouse, being a few lockers down from Betts and Freeman and Ohtani, it was a crazy experience walking in and seeing all those guys and they're all super nice. So it's just crazy when you see these guys that you've watched for so long and they're such good baseball players, and you walk in and they're exactly who you want them to be. So it was really cool.
So you put up some good numbers in the minors previously when you were with Detroit. This year so far, you've taken it to another level. What's changed in the season to previous?
Yeah, well, besides the swing stuff, I mean, they helped me change some swing things. They got me the ball in the air a little bit more, and then had me using the ground a little bit better. So it added a couple more miles an hour of exit velocity. So that's good, because all the balls I was hitting last year just to the fence are now over the fence, which is such a huge deal. And then the Dodgers in general let you play free, so that's such a big deal for a minor leaguer and for everybody. When they let you play free, you can kind of get to the best of your ability, because you don't feel like you have to impress anybody or do anything crazy. It's just you're going out there and you're playing the game that you grew up playing, and you're doing it the best you can. So.
And then when you were with Tennessee, you played a lot of third base, first base, second base also. And throughout the minor league career, you're pretty much doing the same thing. And I noticed in the especially last night, you were scheduled to play center field, and you're playing
Left field.
Left field. Sorry about that.
No,
so are they starting to move you around a little bit more in Oklahoma to get some more experience behind you, or what's up with that?
I think it's just showing that I can be moved around.
Okay.
We have a lot of infielders, I think, right now, so it's not as much. I'm just filling spots. So, I want my bat in the lineup, and I talked to the manager and told him I can play left if you need to, plug in some other guys. And yesterday was the first day we threw me out there, so it went pretty well. Didn't really have any plays, but felt fine out there. I mean, it's just, if you can play all these different positions, I feel like it adds value to you as a player. So that's kind of the main point. It's not as much, it's not as much that I can't play one position and that's it. It's just, if you can play a bunch, it adds versatility and it adds value to you. So I think doing that, and I really started doing that last year, was playing 5 different positions instead of just 2. So doing that again this year, I think definitely helps me out. So
with the Dodgers, I mean, you see the Dodgers are, notorious for that, right? Just having guys that are versatile, they can play anywhere on the field. I mean, is there a position though that you're kind of, if you had to pick one, like where you kind of feel more comfortable at, or kind of, you'd like to pursue that position?
I don't know if it's comfortability, but I like the aspects of probably third base the best, in terms of I like throwing and like, being quick on your feet and the ball's coming fast, and I like that aspect. But comfortability, I'm comfortable kind of everywhere. So I've played it now for 2 or 3 years, so I'm comfortable at every position. But if I had to play one, it'd probably be third, because I feel like it's the most fun to me.
Getting back kind of with what the Dodgers doing, like their development. I mean, is there something that you've kind of noticed specifically with the Dodgers, like their approach to development? Because we hear this a lot. The Dodgers draft guys or Dodgers pickup guys, and just the way they develop. Kind of what's been your experience with that and their development since you've joined the team?
Yeah, I think what the Dodgers do that's different than a lot of other organizations is they kind of really understand all the new technology that we have now. So a lot of teams are using the technology and they're using the tools that we have, but they're not totally 100% on top of how to use it. And I think the Dodgers do that really well as a cohesive unit. So they, from the strength side to knowing how you move, then looking at your swing and saying, this is what we think you can do according to how you move. So it's a cohesive unit that helps you try to be a better player, I guess. So it's not just like, we're going to look at these numbers. This is what we think you can do. We're going to look at how you move here. We want you to move better this way. It's more it's all a unit. This is how he moves. This is how we think he can improve. This is how his swing goes. This is how we think he can improve his swing. So it's all together, which I think the Dodgers do a really, really good job of. And they're all kind of on the same on the same page when it comes to development, which is really cool.
Yeah, because what I heard was when I was in spring training, because I was covering the team, especially the minors, when I was over there quite a bit. They had some new machine that was in the back, that helped your swing out, and that was able to adjust your sight for the ball. Did you participate in that, or did you see that machine that everybody was talking about?
Yeah, I used it. I use it a little bit actually with the Tigers. It's just a machine where you can put any pitcher up, and it
Mhm.
shows the motion, and the ball comes out. So it's a new way to track and get ready for pitchers, I guess, which is really cool.
And then right now you're leading the PCL in home runs and OPS. That must be pretty exciting for you. Talk about your experience so far with Oklahoma, being that this is your first year, um, with the organization that's there, the coaching staff a little bit, the trainers that are there, your players, the players that you're playing with, having Bobby Miller come up. Can you talk about that experience a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, Oklahoma, I think, is actually a really nice city in general. At least for me, I have an apartment now, so I'm settling in, and the team itself is a bunch of really good guys. I really like my teammates that we have here, and then seeing all the rehab guys that come through, they always seem at least excited to be there with us. So I think it's a really good group. The staff is awesome. The staff is incredible. Really good guys, and they let you play free. There's no overdoing, overcoaching, no any of that stuff. So it's just you go out and you do what you need to do, and when we come back in, it's just everyone's just having a good time. So I really like the team and like Oklahoma City in general.
So Andre, so I wanted to ask. I mean, I don't know how big you are, like on the social media and the Twitter, the X, all that stuff. I mean, but there's been, with your play so far this year, there's been a lot of buzz, a lot of fans that go on on those sites, and they're talking about you, and they're really excited to see you play. Like, I don't know if you said if you've noticed that, seen that. Like, how does that make you feel though? That a lot of fans are like, hey, this guy, we got to give this guy a shot. He's doing really, he's doing really good in OKC. How does that make you feel, playing?
Well, I actually don't have Twitter,
Okay,
so I haven't seen a
smart
lot
man,
of it.
smart man.
Yes, very smart.
Haven't seen a lot of the tweets, but I love playing the game, and so if other people love watching me play, then it makes me happy because I mean I've played this game since I was 4 or 5 years old, whatever it was, and I play the same way now where I just have a love for the game. So if fans want to see me play, it's super cool, especially being in a new organization, and Dodgers fans are excited to see me play now. So that's super, super exciting.
I wanted to ask you real quick before we start wrapping up here. So last season you made your MLB debut, and obviously you get to the big leagues, and everybody's looking forward to their first hit. I mean, your first hit was a 2-run home run, correct? I mean,
Yeah.
kind of walk me through that moment.
It was crazy because the night before I actually debuted and pinch hit and actually got to be in a game, which was really cool. And then the next day I started, and it just I don't know how to explain it. You kind of black out when stuff like that happens, especially in that moment. So the whole family was there. Everybody was there supporting me, which was super awesome that a lot of my family and a lot of extended family could get out to Chicago. So once that happened, you kind of black out around the bases, and Miguel Cabrera was there when I came back in, which was just a surreal experience. So that whole thing was crazy.
Were you able to get the ball back?
Yeah.
You were able. Did you have to trade? Did you have to trade for it or anything like that?
He didn't want much. He just he was happy to give the ball back, and I think we just gave him like a Tigers pack, and I signed a couple balls for his kids, and he gave it back.
Nice. Very nice.
So you went to the University of Tennessee, right? So you played for the Vols. They've had a great season. Like, are you pretty much paying attention like to the Knoxville Super Regionals, the College World Series? Do you kind of still keep up with that? With what Tennessee's been doing?
Yeah, I still keep up with how they're doing. I'm still relatively close to some of the coaching staff that's there, and so I text them every now and then, and definitely keep up with the guys. So it's cool to see how the program's progressed since I've been there, and it's awesome to see what the coaching staff has done with that program. So it's really cool.
Well, I've heard that it's not just the coaching staff that built that program. I heard you had a lot to do with that. Can you elaborate on that a little bit more?
I think I was just the start of that culture change from when Serrano was there to when Vitello got there. He needed some older guys that have been through both to see the change and help the younger guys grow and change that program. I don't know if I was a huge help, but I was definitely there at the start to try to change that program. And when we went, from 8-21 in SEC to making a regional, it was a really big deal in that change. So I think just having the group that we had there of older guys definitely helped the younger guys kind of latch on and say, this is how we're going to do things now. And it helped change that process because it just keeps passing down.
Part of that team leadership, building that team up.
Definitely.
So we're going to start wrapping up here real quick, Andre. So what was your kind of growing up? I mean, what kind of influences did you have, or favorite players, favorite teams? Did you have any of those guys that you saw them like, hey, I want to kind of be like this guy or these type of players?
I grew up, my mom's from Chicago, so I grew up as a Cubs fan. So growing up, and when I really started watching baseball, there was the Zambrano era of Cubs baseball and Nomar Garcia-Parra, and growing up watching Sammy Sosa and Mark McGwire and all those guys. So that was a lot of fun. That was a time of really fun baseball. So growing up watching that, it wasn't that I emulated myself after any specific person, but I just always wanted to play baseball. I watched baseball all the time growing up. So, and then I have a twin brother, so we were always able to play together and play in the backyard and do all that kind of stuff. So it was baseball all the time. So,
and I was going to ask you about it. I saw that you had a twin brother, and that's pretty interesting. Are you guys like? I always hear this thing. I don't have a twin or anything like that. I don't think I've only met like one pair of twins my entire life. Do you have that connection kind of with him? Like, I've always heard about twins. Like, there's like this weird connection, right? Like, they know what's going on with, oh, my brother's in trouble, my sister's in trouble, or something. Do you have that connection with your brother?
There's not really twin telepathy. I'll tell you, no, it's not really a real thing. But
okay.
you can always see through. You can always see through any sort of facade that your brother has. So, anytime they're feeling some sort of way, or sometimes you're the only person that can talk to them and get through to them. So, I think that's having a twin. That's kind of the older thing, and then also having the older brother that we have has been awesome in our development in general, of having him as a person we can always talk to.
Okay, awesome, man. So we're gonna go. Oh, you had another question, Mike?
Just one more thing, just try and get a background of you, and and did you play any other sports besides baseball when you were growing up, like football, wrestling, or any of that?
Never football. I played basketball a lot, and then we played a little bit of hockey too when we were growing up.
Okay.
So hockey, baseball, and basketball were kind of the 3 seasons we had. So doing that growing up is what we kind of did, and we didn't play any other sort of sports, but other than that.
Cool.
So we're gonna wrap this up the way we wrap up our guest shows. So we're big taco guys. We love tacos, right? We love just eating tacos, and that's kind of like our thing. So do you have a favorite taco? And if you do, what is it? And kind of where do you go get it? I don't know if you've been in OKC. I don't know if there's a spot in OKC or somewhere else that you just place you go. You want a taco? Where's the place that you go?
Well, the best taco that I've had, I think, was at a food truck that we had when we were playing Oakland. They had a food truck show up to the ballpark, and they made tacos. I forget what it was called, but those tacos were incredible.
What do you have choice of protein? What do you usually
Usually any sort of meat. So whether it's shredded beef or just beef in general. I like steak, so any sort of red meat.
Awesome.
Nice.
Well, I want to thank you, Andre, for your time and wish you continued success. Obviously, we don't know. Baseball is, there's always things going on, and hopefully we get to see you up in LA sometime. It'd be great to have you up and kind of let you do your thing up here. So, but we appreciate the time. Much success, in OKC, and we'll talk to you some other time.
All right, thank you guys for having me.
This episode has been brought to you by Bet Online. The game starts here.